Ancient builders left a secret code written in stone and stars. We are about to decode 20 ancient monuments aligned perfectly with the stars, a global mystery spanning from the Egyptian desert to Mayan jungles. You will discover the hidden astronomical genius of our ancestors, a sophistication that still challenges our understanding of history. How did cultures separated by oceans and millennia share this precise cosmic knowledge? And what profound truth were they trying to preserve for the future? Does our modern world still look to the sky with the same sense of wonder? This shared celestial language begins with a simple but profound truth. Ancient peoples did not merely look up at the night sky. They lived within a cosmic rhythm. Their survival depended on it. They watched the sun's shifting path to know when to plant and when to harvest. They followed the moon's cycles to track the passage of months. The stars, constant and predictable, guided them across trackless seas and deserts. This intimate relationship with the heavens gave birth to a field we now call archaeoastronomy, a discipline that merges the dust of ancient ruins with the light of distant stars. It reveals a global pattern of intelligence, where stone circles, pyramids, and temples were not just places of worship or power, but sophisticated scientific instruments. They were permanent calendars and observatories built to last for millennia. The precision of these structures is what still takes our breath away. A single shaft of sunlight piercing a dark chamber on one specific day of the year was not an accident. It was a declaration, a way of saying, we understand the universe and our place within it. This cosmic blueprint connects every culture we will explore, from the deserts of Egypt to the highlands of Peru. It transforms silent, crumbling stones into a chorus of human achievement, all speaking the same language of the cosmos. And this understanding brings us directly to our first and perhaps most iconic example of celestial alignment. The Great Pyramid of Giza stands as a silent giant on the sandy plateau, a testament to a civilization that looked to the heavens for order. Its base forms a nearly perfect square, with each of its four sides aligned to the cardinal directions with an error of less than 1/15 of a single degree. To achieve this, the ancient Egyptian builders likely used the circumpolar stars, carefully tracking their movements around the north celestial pole. They were not just building a tomb, they were anchoring a king's soul to the unchanging constants of the universe. The pyramid's internal shafts tell an even more specific story. One set of narrow corridors points directly toward the belt of the constellation Orion, which the Egyptians associated with their god of the afterlife, Osiris. Another set was precisely aimed at the pole star of that era, a star called Theban in the constellation Draco. This was not a single alignment, but a complex celestial map rendered in stone, ensuring the pharaoh's spirit could navigate the heavens. The sheer scale of this ambition is humbling. With no modern instruments, using only ropes, sighting tools, and generations of accumulated star knowledge, they achieved a precision that we would struggle to replicate without technology. This was more than architecture, it was a profound statement of belief, a bridge between the earthly and the divine, built to last for all eternity. And if one culture could achieve this, what about the others scattered across the globe, seemingly working from the same cosmic blueprint? From the Egyptian desert, this celestial blueprint reappears on the windswept Salisbury Plain. The great stone circle of Stonehenge rises from the grass, a ring of silent sentinels guarding ancient sky secrets. Built over centuries, beginning around 3000 BC, this was far more than a simple arrangement of rocks. It was a sophisticated astronomical machine engineered from stone. The monument's primary axis points directly to the spot on the horizon where the sun rises on the longest day of summer, the solstice. On that one magical morning, the sun crests the horizon precisely over the outlying heel stone, and a blade of light shoots directly into the center of the circle, illuminating the altar stone. This alignment also works in reverse for the winter solstice sunset, framing the year's shortest day within the same sacred geometry, but the builder's vision extended beyond the sun. Specific stones and the long processional avenue leading to the site align with the moon's most extreme rising and setting points, events known as lunar standstills. These occur only once every 18.6 years, a cycle that requires generations of careful observation to document. This proves the knowledge here was not a single discovery, but a tradition painstakingly passed down. Stonehenge was a grand celestial calendar and a gathering place where an entire community could witness the cosmos turning in perfect sync with their lives. It connected them directly to the rhythm of time itself, a rhythm written in sunlight, shadow, and stone. Long before the pyramids cast their shadows in Egypt, another ancient wonder was already reaching for the stars. In the lush Boyne Valley of Ireland, the massive passage tomb of Newgrange rose from the earth around 3200 BC. This colossal circular mound, older than both Stonehenge and the Great Pyramid, holds a secret locked in stone and light. Its most breathtaking feature is a slender slit carefully constructed above the entrance, known as the roof box. This was no ordinary doorway. It was a precision instrument aimed at the horizon, waiting for one specific sunrise. For just a few precious days around the winter solstice, as the sun finally begins its slow return, something magical happens. At dawn, a single, narrow beam of sunlight pierces through that roof box. It travels down the entire 60-foot-long passageway, a journey into the heart of the mound, until it strikes the deepest inner chamber. For approximately 17 minutes, this sacred space, a tomb meant for the ancestors, is flooded with golden light. This was not a happy accident. The entire structure was engineered to capture this exact moment, marking the sun's symbolic rebirth at the year's darkest hour. Imagine the powerful message this sent to an ancient community. In the depth of winter, when cold and darkness seemed eternal, their ancestors, resting within the earth, were touched by the returning sun. It was a profound act of cosmic drama, a way of bringing life and light into the very realm of death. The precision required to achieve this year after year, century after century, reveals a people who did not just observe the sky, but who wove its cycles into their deepest beliefs about life, death, and renewal. High on a sun-baked butte in New Mexico, a secret calendar was carved into the rock. The ancestral pueblones of Chaco Canyon engineered a masterpiece of light and shadow around 1000 AD. They carefully positioned 3 massive stone slabs atop Fajada Butte, creating narrow slits between them. Behind these slabs, they carved a magnificent spiral petroglyph into the cliff face. This was not mere art, it was the face of a clock, a calendar designed to be read by the sun itself. On the longest day of the year, the summer solstice, a brilliant sliver of light would pierce through the stones. This sun dagger, as we call it today, would strike the center of the large spiral, perfectly bisecting it with a blade of pure light. But the genius of this device was its seasonal language. When the winter solstice arrived, the sun's angle shifted, and 2 distinct daggers of light would appear, framing the same spiral on either side. And during the equinoxes, when day and night are of equal length, a separate, smaller dagger of light would touch a smaller spiral carved off to the side. This was a sophisticated, multi-layered astronomical instrument. It precisely marked the turning points of the year, telling the people when to plant, when to harvest, and when to hold their most sacred ceremonies. All of this was achieved without metal tools or written records, using only a deep understanding of the sun's movement and the natural landscape. It stands as a powerful reminder that cosmic observation was not confined to the grand pyramids or stone circles of the Old World. Here in the American Southwest, ancient astronomers were writing the same language in sunlight and stone. Across the ocean, high in the mist-shrouded Andes, another civilization was performing its own celestial ceremony. The Inca built their sacred city of Machu Picchu on a mountain ridge, a place where the earth seems to touch the sky. At its heart stands the Intihuatana stone, a granite pillar carved with breathtaking precision. Its name means the hitching post of the sun, and it functioned as a sophisticated astronomical clock. The Inca were masters of the sun, and this stone was their ultimate instrument. During the equinoxes, when day and night hang in perfect balance, something remarkable occurs. The sun positions itself almost directly overhead, and the intricately carved pillar casts no shadow at all. In that moment, it was believed the sun was symbolically tethered to the earth, prevented from continuing its journey into the southern sky and the long darkness of winter. This was not just an observation, it was an act of cosmic intervention, a way for the priests to secure the sun's return and ensure the continuation of life. The entire city is a testament to this deep connection, with temples, windows, and pathways aligned to capture the sun's rays on specific dates, marking the times for planting, harvest, and sacred rituals. The Intihuatana stone is a perfect fusion of art, science, and spirituality, carved directly from the mountain itself. It represents a philosophy where the landscape, the heavens, and human life were all threads in the same sacred tapestry. The precision of Chaco Canyon and Machu Picchu reveals a universal human impulse to mark the heavens, a tradition that found one of its most ambitious expressions in the Americas. Deep in the highlands of central Mexico, the ruins of Teotihuacan rise from the plain. This was not merely a city, it was a vast cosmological diagram rendered in stone. Built over centuries, its entire layout was a conscious act of celestial mirroring. The city's central artery, the Grand Avenue of the Dead, runs for miles, but it does not point to true north. Instead, its builders deliberately oriented it 15.5 degrees east of north. Why would an entire metropolis be skewed in this specific way? Some scholars argue this alignment was keyed to the setting of the Pleiades star cluster, a brilliant group of stars known as the Seven Sisters. In Mesoamerican belief, the Pleiades were deeply tied to the cycles of agriculture and creation, and to align a city with their path was to weave the fabric of civilization directly into the cosmos. This celestial blueprint extends to the city's monumental pyramids. The massive pyramid of the sun and the elegant pyramid of the moon are not placed at random. Their positions and the angles of their stairways are thought to capture the sun at pivotal moments like the equinoxes and to track the moon's journey. The entire city functioned as a sacred clock and calendar, its stone avenues and towering temples reinforcing a powerful idea. The rulers who commanded its construction were not just political leaders, they were intermediaries between the earthly realm and the divine order above. By walking the Avenue of the Dead, a citizen was literally traversing a map of the heavens, a constant physical reminder that the power structure of the city was sanctioned by the stars themselves. It was architecture as ideology, a permanent claim written in stone and sky. The sheer scale of human ambition stretches across the fields of Carnac in Brittany, France. Here, thousands of standing stones march across the landscape in long, silent rows, a project begun around 4500 BC that dwarfs even the most famous stone circles. With over 3,000 megaliths arranged in parallel lines stretching for kilometers, this is not a single monument but a vast, open-air complex. The true purpose of these immense rows has been debated for centuries, yet a compelling theory points to the sky. These stones were not a haphazard forest of rock. They were a sophisticated, permanent observatory. Specific alignments within the grand array correspond with uncanny precision to the rising and setting points of the sun and moon during solstices and equinoxes. Picture an ancient astronomer walking these lines, sighting along the tops of specific stones. Each menhir acted as a fixed celestial marker, allowing them to track the slow, predictable dance of the heavens. This giant stone calculator could have been used to predict eclipses, mark the turning of the seasons, and maintain a complex calendar that governed everything from planting crops to scheduling sacred rituals. The survival of their society depended on this precise knowledge, and they invested generations of labor to etch that knowledge directly into the earth itself. Walking among these rows today, you are not just seeing stones, you are walking through the skeleton of an ancient scientific instrument, a testament to a culture that sought to bring cosmic order down to the human scale. The silent stones of Carnac find a powerful echo on the sun-scorched island of Malta. Here, the Mnajdra temple complex, a labyrinth of limestone carved from the earth around 3600 BC, holds a secret of light and time. Its lower temple is a masterpiece of celestial engineering, far more than a simple place of worship. The builders shaped the main doorway and the curved inner apse with an astronomer's precision. They were constructing a sacred machine powered by the sun itself. During the equinoxes, when day and night stand in perfect balance, the first golden rays of dawn pierce the main entrance. A blade of light travels down the central axis, flooding the deepest part of the temple with a brilliant, symbolic glow. But the true genius of Mnajdra is revealed on the solstices. As the sun reaches its northern and southern extremes, the angle of the light shifts dramatically. On these pivotal days, the sunbeams no longer travel the central path. Instead, they strike the edges of the doorway, illuminating specific megaliths flanking the entrance. This was a sophisticated, two-part calendar in stone. It marked the sun's rebirth at the equinox and its turning points at the solstices, creating an unerring rhythm for the entire community. This precise knowledge would have been essential for survival, dictating the optimal times for planting and harvest and scheduling the most important religious festivals. The temple was a communal clock, its silent stones speaking the language of the seasons, ensuring that human life moved in perfect harmony with the cosmos. The celestial precision seen in Malta was achieved on a truly colossal scale in the jungles of Cambodia. Angkor Wat, the world's largest religious monument, rises as a stone mountain from the forest, a breathtaking representation of the Hindu universe built in the early 12th century. Its entire design is a cosmic map, with the central towers symbolizing the peaks of Mount Meru, the mythical axis of all creation. But this was not just a symbolic gesture, it was a precise astronomical alignment made manifest. The temple's primary entrance faces west, a deliberate break from the typical eastern orientation of most temples. This unique positioning sets the stage for a spectacular annual event. On the morning of the spring equinox, when day and night are perfectly balanced all over the world, the sun performs a miracle for those gathered there. It rises directly over the central tower, crowning the sacred peak with light, as if the universe itself is affirming the temple's purpose. To achieve this, the Khmer builders needed an extraordinary understanding of the sun's path across the sky. They had to calculate the exact angle for the main causeway and the precise placement of the central tower, ensuring that this celestial meeting would occur year after year, century after century. This was architecture as a form of frozen time, a way of locking a heavenly event into a permanent earthly structure. even today, this alignment has not lost its power. Thousands of people gather each spring equinox to witness the sun's perfect ascent, a tradition that connects modern spectators directly to the visionary minds of the Khmer Empire. It is a living testament to a civilization that did not simply build a temple, but one that successfully captured a moment of cosmic harmony in stone. While the Khmer Empire was building its cosmic mountain in stone, the Maya were perfecting the art of celestial observation. At the heart of the great city of Chichen Itza stands a strange and wonderful structure, a round tower that seems almost alien among the angular pyramids. This is the Caracol, named for the spiral staircase that winds through its core like a snail's shell. Built around 906 AD, this was not a temple for worship, but a sophisticated observatory, a machine for reading the stars. Its design is a radical departure from the monuments we have seen so far. This was not a monument aligned to a single event, but a dynamic instrument built to track the complex movements of multiple celestial bodies over time. The genius of the Caracol is etched into its very architecture. Narrow, slit-like windows pierce its cylindrical walls, each one a precise sightline aimed at a specific point on the horizon. The most critical of these align with the extreme northern and southern settings of the planet Venus. For the Maya, Venus was not just a bright star, it was a god, a harbinger of war, and a central figure in their cosmology. Their entire calendar system, a labyrinth of interlocking cycles of breathtaking complexity, relied on accurately predicting its appearances as both the morning and evening star. The Caracol gave them this power. From this tower, Mayan astronomers could watch Venus descend to its most distant point, then slowly begin its return journey, marking the passage of time with a precision that rivals our modern calculations. Other windows tracked the sun's path at the solstices and the moon's 18.6-year cycle. This structure represents a quantum leap in ancient science. It marks the evolution from aligning a building with the sky to constructing a dedicated laboratory for actively studying it. The Caracol is a testament to a civilization that moved beyond marking time to truly understanding the mechanics of the cosmos. Long before the pharaohs raised their pyramids, another culture was charting the heavens from the sands of southern Egypt. The Nabta Playa stone circle lies in the heart of the Sahara, a collection of stones that seems almost humble against the vast desert landscape. Yet this site, dating back to around 5000 BC, is one of the oldest astronomical observatories ever discovered on our planet. Its builders were not the pyramid engineers we know, but nomadic cattle-herding people who inhabited a very different world. This was not a barren desert then, but a savanna with seasonal lakes, a place where life depended on the delicate timing of the rains. Their survival hinged on predicting the arrival of the annual monsoon, and so they built a calendar from stone. They carefully arranged the megaliths to align with the rising sun of the summer solstice and the positions of key stars, creating a permanent, reliable marker of celestial events. When specific stars appeared in a certain part of the sky, it signaled that the life-giving rains were on their way. This was practical science born from necessity. The true significance of Nabta Playa, however, stretches far beyond its immediate purpose. Its sophisticated alignments suggest that the seeds of Egyptian civilization, the profound astronomical knowledge, and the drive to build monuments in harmony with the cosmos were planted not in the Nile Valley, but out here in what is now a vast emptiness. It rewrites the opening chapter of history, revealing that the celestial wisdom of the pharaohs may have had its origins in the minds of desert nomads thousands of years earlier. The silent stones of Mnajdra hold even deeper secrets than the sun's yearly path. Beyond the solstice and equinox alignments, some researchers propose that the temple itself was a living observatory, its roof intentionally open to the night sky. The theory centers on the hypaethral design, where specific roof slabs may have been deliberately omitted. These openings were not floors but precision apertures. Imagine standing in the dark, sacred chamber on a clear, moonless night. Through one of these ceiling holes, a single beam of starlight pierces the darkness, its pinpoint of light slowly crawling across the floor until it illuminates a specific spiral carving or a particular altar stone. This was not a random event. It would have occurred only when a certain star, crucial to their mythology, reached a precise position in its annual cycle. This transforms our understanding of the temple from a solar calendar into a sophisticated stellar clock. It suggests the builders were tracking not just the sun and moon, but the much slower, grander movements of the fixed stars, tying their rituals to a cosmic timetable that unfolded over generations. This adds a profound new layer of complexity to these sacred spaces. Astronomy was not just one feature of the temple, it was the very medium through which it operated, with every beam of light, whether from the sun or a distant star, serving as a sacred messenger. The moon held a different kind of power over the ancient Mesopotamian imagination. In the fertile land between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, the great Ziggurat of rose toward the heavens as a colossal stairway for the gods. Built around 2100 BC by King Namu, this massive stepped pyramid was not a tomb but a dwelling place dedicated exclusively to Nana, the radiant god of the moon. Its very structure was a form of lunar worship, a physical bridge between the earthly city and the celestial deity who governed the night. While the precise alignments are still debated, the ziggurat's corners and its grand, ascending stairways were likely positioned to frame the moon at its most potent moments. Imagine the sight during a full moon, the silver light cascading down the temple's baked brick facade, illuminating the path for priests climbing to perform rituals high above the city. This was more than architecture, it was a statement of divine right. By linking his monumental project so directly to the moon god, King Namu was reinforcing his own authority. He was the chosen intermediary, the one who could commune with Nana and ensure his blessings of fertility and order flowed down to the people. The ziggurat used the unchanging, predictable cycles of the moon to justify a very human social structure, proving that the stars and planets were not just watched for practical reasons, but were powerful tools used to build and maintain empires. This celestial justification for power would be echoed in countless other cultures, each finding its own way to write its laws in the language of the sky. The Inca transformed their entire capital into a celestial instrument with the Coricancha as its golden heart. This temple was more than a building, it was the axis of the world, a place where the divine touched the earth. Though Spanish conquistadors tore down its golden walls, the foundations whisper of its original purpose. Historical records describe windows and niches carved with such precision that they framed the solstice sunrises and sunsets, capturing the god Inti at his most powerful. But the alignments reached beyond the sun. Certain openings were likely aimed at the Pleiades, the star cluster the Inca knew as Colca. When these seven sisters appeared in the dawn sky, it was not just a beautiful sight, it was a direct signal from the heavens, a command to begin the planting season. This stellar connection wove the cycles of the cosmos directly into the survival of the empire. The true genius of the Coricancha, however, lay in its role as the center of a vast spiritual web. From this single point, 41 invisible lines called sex radiated outward across the Andes. These were not just paths, they were sacred vectors organizing every aspect of life. Along these lines lay hundreds of shrines, each marking a specific celestial event or a point in the ritual calendar. The sex system bound the entire empire together in a single cosmic geography, where astronomy, religion, and political power became one inseparable force. The Coricancha was the central processor for this network, a stellar doorway that translated the movements of the heavens into the very rhythm of an empire. The Great Sphinx of Giza offers a riddle not just in its form, but in its unwavering gaze. Carved from the living rock of the plateau, this colossal guardian is oriented with meticulous precision, facing due east toward the rising sun. Its lion's body and human head have sparked endless theories, but its most undeniable truth is written in the dawn light. On the morning of the spring equinox, a spectacular celestial event unfolds. From a specific vantage point before the Sphinx, the sun ascends directly between the peaks of the two great pyramids, Khafre and Khufu, as if the entire complex was designed to frame this one perfect moment of cosmic balance. This is no random occurrence. It suggests the Sphinx was an integral part of a grand astronomical plan, a fixed point in a landscape engineered to mirror the heavens. Some researchers, proponents of the Orion correlation theory, argue that the arrangement of the pyramids and the Sphinx corresponds to the stars of Orion's belt and the star Sirius, sacred to the ancient Egyptians. Whether this grand stellar map is accurate or not, the Sphinx's equinoctial alignment is undeniable. It reinforces a profound idea that the Giza Plateau was not a collection of separate monuments, but a single, integrated cosmic machine. Every stone, every corridor, and every statue was part of a unified vision, a permanent testament to a civilization that saw no division between the earth and the sky, forever frozen in time, watching for the dawn. The same Mayan fascination with Venus that built the Caracol Tower found its ultimate public expression in the Great Step Pyramid of Kukulkan. This iconic structure, often called El Castillo, is a masterpiece of architectural illusion and celestial timing. Its true purpose is revealed for just a few breathtaking minutes on the spring and autumn equinoxes. As the sun begins to set on those 2 days of perfect balance, a miracle of light and shadow unfolds. The stepped corners of the pyramid cast a series of triangular shadows down the northern staircase, connecting at the bottom with giant stone serpent heads. This creates the undulating, full-bodied illusion of a massive feathered serpent slithering down from the heavens to the earth. This was the divine descent of Kukulkan, the plumed serpent god, a spectacle witnessed by the entire populace. The genius behind this effect is both mathematical and astronomical. The pyramid's sides are angled at precisely 45 degrees, and each of its 4 stairways contains 91 steps. When you add these together, you get 364, and with the final step being the top platform, the total becomes 365, a perfect and tangible solar calendar. Every element of its design was intentional, a fusion of art, science, and statecraft. This was not a secret observation for priests alone, it was a public demonstration of power. The ruler, by orchestrating this divine appearance, proved his unique connection to the cosmos. He could command the sun itself to bring a god to life before the people's eyes, reinforcing the social order through a shared, awe-inspiring experience. It was a celestial drama written in stone and light, performed punctually each equinox for centuries. Far to the north, on the windswept Isle of Lewis, the Callanish stones rise from the peat like a petrified forest. Arranged in a stark, cross-shaped pattern, these megaliths were raised around 2900 BC, a silent testament to a different kind of celestial obsession. While Stonehenge famously tracks the sun, the primary genius of Callanish is lunar. Its long stone avenues do not point toward the solstice sunrise, but are instead aimed at the far more complex and mysterious dance of the moon. Every 18.6 years, our nearest celestial neighbor enters a phase known as a major lunar standstill. During this prolonged cycle, the moon does not follow its usual high arc across the sky. Instead, it appears to skim the southern horizon, a low, slow-moving orb of haunting beauty. From within the Callanish complex, this celestial performance becomes a true spectacle. The moon seems to glide along the undulating profile of the distant hills, perfectly framed by the ancient stone avenues, as if the entire landscape was designed to be a grand stage for this lunar ballet. This was not a fleeting moment, but an event that unfolded over several nights, a predictable and powerful display that would have commanded the attention of the entire community. This dramatic reappearance, occurring almost exactly once in a generation, likely marked a supremely significant period in their ritual calendar, a time for great gatherings, ceremonies, and the passing down of knowledge. Callanish stands as a powerful counterpoint, reminding us that ancient sky watchers were not solely fixated on the sun. They possessed a deep, generational understanding of the moon's more subtle and prolonged rhythms, finding profound meaning in its slow, graceful crawl along the edge of the world. The moon's slow dance at Callanish reflects a deep, generational patience, but in 13th century India, another culture celebrated the sun with breathtaking dynamism. The Sun Temple of Carnac rises from the earth not as a static monument, but as a colossal stone chariot in full motion, built for the sun god Surya himself. 12 pairs of immense, intricately carved wheels flank its base, pulled by a team of 7 stone horses, forever frozen in a charge toward the eastern horizon. This was not a subtle alignment. It was a monumental declaration of devotion to the celestial body that gives life. The entire structure was engineered so that the first golden rays of dawn would strike the main entrance, flooding the temple's interior with divine light as if welcoming the deity home. But the true genius of Carnac lies in the details of those 24 wheels. They are far more than religious art. Each one is a fully functional sundial, a precise scientific instrument carved with an artist's hand. The 8 spokes on every wheel are not symmetrical, they are carefully angled. As the sun journeys across the sky, these spokes cast shifting shadows across the wheel's rim, which is marked with smaller carvings. By reading the position of the shadow against these markers, a priest or any observer could determine the time of day with remarkable accuracy. This was a complete integration of faith and function, where devotion was measured in the passage of sunlight. Every hour was marked not by a mechanical tick, but by the slow, graceful sweep of a shadow cast by a god. The temple itself was a clock, its entire form a hymn to the sun, celebrating its role as both a spiritual force and the ultimate regulator of time, the heartbeat of the universe made visible in stone. Deep within a tomb carved into the Egyptian cliffs, the stars themselves were painted to outlast time. The final resting place of Senenmut, the most trusted advisor to the powerful female pharaoh Hatshepsut, holds a secret upon its ceiling. Here, far from the open desert night, you find one of humanity's oldest surviving star maps, a breathtaking celestial chart rendered in vivid color. This is not a random scattering of decorative dots. It is a meticulous diagram of the heavens as the Egyptians knew them around 1470 BC. You can see the familiar forms of their constellations, the wandering paths of the planets they observed, and rows of decans, which were specific star groups that rose consecutively throughout the night. Each decan marked a new hour, turning the entire sky into a cosmic clock. This ceiling was a functional guide, a divine roadmap. The Egyptians believed that after death, the soul embarked on a perilous journey through the underworld, a voyage that mirrored the sun's own nightly passage. To succeed, the soul needed to navigate, and this painted sky provided the stars to steer by. It ensured that Senenmut's spirit would not get lost in the darkness, that he could follow the correct celestial pathways to achieve rebirth alongside the sun god. This transforms our understanding of their monuments. It was not enough to align a pyramid with a star. They needed to take the entire night sky with them into the afterlife. This star map is direct, undeniable proof of their profound stellar knowledge, revealing a civilization that saw the cosmos as a divine blueprint, a sacred script where the patterns above dictated the fate of every soul below. Scattered across the vast plains of North America, the medicine wheels tell a quieter, more integrated story of celestial alignment. These stone circles, built by indigenous peoples over many centuries, are not towering pyramids or grand temples, but elegant patterns laid directly upon the earth. The most renowned of these is the Bighorn Medicine Wheel, high on a windswept Wyoming plateau. Its design is deceptively simple, a central cairn or pile of stones from which 28 spokes radiate outward to a large outer ring. Yet this was a precise astronomical instrument. Key cairns positioned around the perimeter act as permanent sight lines. One aligns perfectly with the rising sun on the summer solstice, while others point to the precise spots on the horizon where brilliant stars like Aldebaran, Rigel, and Sirius first become visible each year just before dawn, an event known as their heliacal rising. This was a calendar that combined the solar year with a stellar clock, marking not just the longest day but also signaling the arrival of specific seasons for hunting or ceremony based on the appearance of these celestial heralds. The true power of the medicine wheel, however, lies in its purpose. It was a sacred space where the cosmos, the land, and human life converged. Each of the 28 spokes is thought to represent a day in the lunar cycle, tying the count of days to the rhythms of the moon. Here, astronomy was not separate from spirituality or daily life. It was the foundation of it. The wheel served as a classroom under the open sky, a ceremonial site for vision quests, and a permanent reminder that to understand your place in the world, you first had to learn to read the sky above it. This was a different cultural expression of the same universal truth, proving that the impulse to map the heavens is a fundamental part of the human story, whether written in towering limestone or in humble stones upon the grass.